What's up everyone, Sean Count Blaggearth here today with an album review to celebrate 10,000 subscribers. I know I said I'll do a collection video, which I will do, but this is a very special review considering this was the very first album review I ever did on YouTube. The first video I ever did was a vocal cover of either Monomarth, Cannibal Corpse, or Skeleton Witch. I can't remember which one. But I know I put up a vocal cover, and that was the first thing that I did a review. And the very first review I ever uploaded, Line of Deathless Kings by My Dying Bride, which is a 2006 Peaceville Records release. If you're not familiar with My Dying Bride, they are a gothic death doom band hailing from the UK. These guys have been around since the early 90s. And they have a lot of albums out, and personally, this is my favorite. Now, with A Line of Deathless Kings, it wasn't necessarily a departure from their previous sound, as much as it was more of a continuation of what they've done, but it still alienated a lot of people. And when I say that, I mean, it was mostly due to the fact that there was a big shift in vocal styles. There was more of a focus on past albums on growls and screams, whereas on this album, the focus is on cleans. And instead of creating an album that has pretty much just one emotion to it, which is depression and sadness, it's much more diverse in the sense of this is an emotional roller coaster. And let me explain this. The guitar on this album, and overall the songwriting on this album, features a lot more mid-paced stuff. The riffs are very heavy but very catchy, yet more mid-paced and at some points actually pretty fast, especially for My Dying Bride. The way the songs flow is they do have sort of a structure where there are a lot of tempo changes within it, but for the most part they kind of stay the same throughout the whole thing, which is not a bad thing. But you do get songs on this album that are much more mid-paced than anything My Dying Bride has ever done. Prime example, that would be The Blood, the Wine, the Roses. Really, really top-notch stuff. The guitar work on this album is absolutely stellar. Just riff after riff of phenomenal, emotional, heart-wrenching riffs. And some of the most beautiful guitar harmonies I have ever heard, especially on track 2, Le Amour de Trute. I probably said that wrong, but whatever. Utterly heart-wrenching, but so beautiful you almost feel overwhelmed by emotion. Absolutely amazing. And the way the guitars harmonize is just incredible. They're melodic, they're heavy, it's beautiful, it's ugly. There's a lot of really just dirty sounding riffs on this album. Like on And I Walk With Them has such a dirty, heavy, overbearing riff in the verse that you just feel the anguish within it. And another thing that really helps out is the bass. The bass on this record is really something to behold. It's something that honestly is not too spectacular in the sense of the technical playing, but in the sense of what they do within the bass and within the realms of what they're doing. It's really, really fitting, and it's something that I honestly wouldn't want to hear anything else of. It really, truly makes the heavy parts heavier, and the more mid-pace and more atmospheric parts even more atmospheric. And a big thing that helps out with that too is the keyboards. Now, with My Dying Bride in the past, especially on the previous album, which many herald as their best album, Songs of Darkness, Words of Light, the keyboards were much more prevalent and much more ambitious, where this time around it's very subtle, it's very spaced out. When the keyboards are in, which is few and far between, it works extremely, extremely well. And one of the things that actually makes it work so well is the fact that it's not overbearing. And the stuff that's played is usually something that's very subtle and atmospheric, or it's piano. And that works out very well for these guys. The drums on here, it's nothing really that special, but it fits perfectly. There's not one part on this album where when I listen to it, I think I would do something differently in the drum department. It's perfect. The mixing and the mastering of the drums is phenomenal. Nothing plastic about it. Nothing overbearing in the mix. Everything sounds natural and everything sounds good. And that's one thing I love My Dying Bride for. Now, the part that makes me love My Dying Bride so much is their singer, Aaron. He has absolutely hateful, spiteful, disgusting screams. And then he also has moments of just some of the most beautiful, clean vocals you will ever hear in your life. And this album is just chock full of clean vocals. And the thing is, too, with the vocals on here is it's really a work of art with how he's able to portray the lyrics with so much anguish and so much emotion within his voice that you're just kind of left in awe of how he's able to portray it and make it so artistic. And that's something that I can't stress enough, is the delivery of these heart-wrenching lyrics is unparalleled. There is nothing out there that truly compares to how he delivers his lyrics with such anguish, such anger, and spite, and just so much emotion that it's truly something that you got to experience at least once in your life. And the lyrics on this album are very spectacular, and there's something about them that really makes them stand out amongst past My Dying Bride albums, such as the lyrics that are kind of not as depressing but more loving, almost. Like L'amour de True is a love song. It's a very sinister love song at points, but it's still a love song nonetheless. Or I Cannot Be Loved is another example of that. But then you have songs that kind of take a very dark twist, such as Love's Intolerable Pain and One of Beauty's Daughters and The Blood, the Wine, the Roses. These songs really take a dark twist in the sense of stalking and killing and just being obsessed with someone. And it's something that's just truly beautiful. And guys, this album is amazing. In my original review, I can't remember the score I gave, and the video is no longer up on my channel. But after listening to this even more, I can't help but give this a 9.5 out of 10. This is probably in my top 10 favorite albums of all time. This is truly something special that everybody needs to hear, especially fans of doom metal. This album's been out since 2006. It's relatively easy to find. I absolutely love it. I encourage every single one of you to pick this up. And that's it. If you guys happen to have a vinyl copy of this that you're willing to part with and you're not going to fist my anus into oblivion with a price, I will buy it from you. Just send me a message and we can work something out. But yeah, 9.5 out of 10. Pick this up. Check out My Dying Bride. And that's it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And as always, keep it metal.